श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम्। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवसर्वकार्ये सर्वदा। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषयगुरोगिणां हरे सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वेदव्या नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नमो धर्माय महदे कृष्णाय वेदसे ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमस्कृत्य धर्मान् वक्ष्यामि शाश्वताम्। नमो भगवते तस्मै व्यासाय तदेशस्य प्रसादात् वक्ष्यामि नारायणकथामिमाम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। So in the previous session, we looked at, as part of the Rudriyam narration of Vyasa to Arjuna, when Arjuna asked, who was that person moving in front of me, destroying all the Kaurava troops, who from his shula, everybody was getting killed. I was just following him and people thought I was killing them. Who was that? So Vyasa starts narrating and saying that that is none other than Mahadeva himself. And he starts narrating that Mahadeva's glory and how even Devatas were scared, afraid of this Mahadeva Shankara when he is angry. Like that, they explained the Daksha story, and also how we looked at how Mahadeva destroyed the three Puras, the one in golden, silver, and the iron Puras, cities that were created by Brahma for the three Asuras, Danavas, and then Shiva killed them with one arrow when all three were lying together. He destroyed all those Tripuras. So after that, those Tripuras were burned. Parvati went there to see him, to see that sight of that Shiva battling in that battle, destroying that Tripuras. And then on her lap, a child was seen with 5 clumps of hair on his head. And Indra, seeing that, thinking this child is throwing some ill feelings, he decided to release his Vajra thunderbolt weapon on that child. And Mahadeva, who was that child, smiling quickly, he paralyzes Indra's arms. And like that, Indra's arm was paralyzed, and he was accompanied by all the devatas. They quickly went to Brahma, and then bowing to him, they asked him, some wonderful creature, O Brahma, is lying on Parvati's lap in the form of a child. And seeing him, seeing us, he did not salute us, and we have all been defeated by him. We therefore decide to ask you who he may be, and who that boy, without fighting, has with greatest ease, he defeated all of us. He vanquished all of us with Indra at our head. He defeated all of us. Tell us who that boy is. Then hearing this, Brahma, he reflected for a moment, and then he understood that that boy of immeasurable energy is none other than Shambhu himself. Then addressing those devatas with Indra leading them, Brahma says that that child is divine Hara himself, the Bhagavan Ishvara of the entire mobile and immobile creatures, this universe. He is the Ishvara, he is Hara. There is nothing superior to Mahadeva, Maheshwara, that being of immeasurable splendor who has been seen by you with Uma, that divine Bhagavan. He has assumed the form of a child for Uma's sake and to fulfill Uma's wish. Let us go to him, and that divine and illustrious one, he is the Paramatma of this world. O Devatas, you do not recognize that master of that universe. Like saying this, then all the Devatas with Brahma, they all go to that child, Paramatma Shiva, Shankara himself in that child form with Uma. He was there with Parvati, he was there. He was having that effulgence like a morning sun in that color, and seeing that Maheshwara and knowing that he was this Paramatma, he is the supreme being. Brahma starts praising him, adoring him. He says that you are the sacrifice, you stay, and you are the stay and refuge of all this universe, and everything rests on you. You are the Baba, you are Maheshwara, you are the adobe of all the things, and you are the highest refuge. Those This whole universe of mobile and immobile creatures is pervaded by you, the O Holy One, the O Deva of the past and the present and the future, O Bhagavan of all the worlds, O protector of this universe, let Indra, afflicted with your anger, have your grace. Like this, Brahma prays for Indra. He prays Mahadeva, and Vyasa continues this narration. He says that hearing these words of Brahma, Maheshwara, Shiva become gratified and desire of extending his grace. He laughed out aloud, and the Devatas then gratified with the praise. The Devatas then praised both Uma and Shankara, Rudra. The arms of Indra, he regot uh, into his natural state, and then all the Devatas uh, that Shiva was praised by all the Devatas, that Shiva, who is the destroyer of Daksha sacrifice, that divine Bhagavan of having the bull for his sign, he became gratified with the Devatas, and Devatas started praising him. They start glorifying his deeds, and they say that Savai Rudra Sacha Shiva, So Agni Sharva, Sa Sarvavit, Sa Chendra Chaiva Vayuscha, So Ashwino, Sa Ashwino Sacha Vidyutah, Sa Bhava Sacha Parjanyo Mahadeva Sa Chaganah, Cha Anagah, Sa Chandrama Sa Cheshanah, Sa Suryo Varnascha Saha, Sa Kala सोऽन्तको सां मृत्यु यमो रात्र्यहानि च मासार्धमासा ऋतवः सन्धे संवत्सरश्च सः. So they say that Rudra, so he is the Rudra, he is the Shiva, he is Agni, he is everything. He is the knowledge of everything. And he is Indra, he is Vayu, he is the Ashwinas, the twins Ashwini Devatas. He is the lightning, he is such a Vidyutaha. And they say that he is Bhava, such a Parjanyo, he is the Parjanya, he is the lightning. And then he is Mahadeva, he is sinless. Cha Anagaha. Anaga means sinless one. And he is Soma, Sa Chandrama, Sa Cheshanaha. So he is the Ishana, and he is Surya, and he is the Varuna, he is Kala, he is the Antaka, he is the one who is destroying everybody and everything. He is Mrityu, he is Yama, he is Ratri, he is night, he is day, Ratri Ahani. So he is day and he is night as well. He is the fortnight, he is the Ardhamasa, he is Masa, he is month, he is the seasons, he is the morning, he is the Sandhya, he is the year, he is everything. And Devatas say that Sachadata Vidhata cha Vishwatma Vishwakarmakrit Sarvasam Devatanam cha Dharayatya Avapuravapuh Sarvair Deve Sudo Deva Saikada Buddha cha Saha Shatada Sahasrada Chaiva Tata Shatasahasrada. So they say that he is Dhatri, he is Vidhatri, he is the Atma of this Vishwatma, he is the Atma of this entire universe, and he is the doer of all the actions in this universe, Vishwakarma Krata. And though himself without body, it is he who is embodied it of Devata. Devatanam cha dharayatya avaprapupuh. And he is endued with great splendor, he is adored and praised by all the Devatas. He is the one, he is the 100, he is the thousands, he is the 10,000, he is the everything. So if you look at, you can see him in hundreds and thousands and 10,000s and more than that. He is in everywhere, but he is the only one. If you see in everywhere, all those jivas, he is the only one, and he is the one, and that's why he is Ekada, he is the Ekada, so he is the only one. And but he sees as Bahuda, we see him as many forms. And Idrushah sa Mahadevo Bhuyascha Bhagavan Aja. nahi sarve maya shaktya vaktum bhagavato guna. So he says that Devata says that Brahmanas who are versed in the Vedas say that he has two forms. They are the terrible and auspicious forms, and these two forms again are multifarious. And his auspicious form are in water, light, and the moon form, whatever that is highly mysterious in these several branches of the Vedas, in the Upanishads, in the Puranas, and in those sciences, in those vijnanas that deal with the Atma. Uh, he is the Bhagavan, that is Maheshwara. Mahadeva is even such a person. That's one said in those branches, Vedantas, and he said in the Upanishad, Puranas, and all those things, mysterious things, that's the secret things that's been said there. He is that. He is the one in all the Vijnanas, Jnana Vijnanas, he is Shastras, he is the one that's being said. And that Devata is again without birth. Aja. He is the Aja. He is the without birth. And all the attributes of the Devatas are not all the attributes of that Bhagavan, that Mahadeva, are not capable of being enumerated by even if I were to recite them constantly for 1,000 years, like this Vyasa says that about that Bhagavan as narrated by the Devatas. And he says that Sarva Grahair Grihitan Vai Sarva Papa Samanvitan Sa Mocha Sa Mochayati Suprita Sharanya Sharanagatan Ayurarogyam Aishwaram Vittam Kamascha Pushkalan Sa Dadati Manushebhya Sa Chaiva Kshipate Punaha. So even on to those that are afflicted by the evil graha, so grahagati is not being right, even for them, even unto those that are stained in every sin, that great protector, uh, if they seek him, and he becomes gratified with them, and he grants them the moksha, and he grants and takes away the life and health and prosperity, wealth, diverse kinds of objects of desire, everything. He is the grantor. He is the one that takes away. So whatever one is afflicted with, whether the graha dosha or with lot of sins or whatever that's coming from, one should seek him and he becomes gratified. He gives all those things. And if not, he takes away everything, health, life, prosperity, wealth, everything, and whatever one desires, he takes away all those things. And Vyasa says that सेन्द्रादिषु च देवेषु तस्य चैश्वर्यम् उच्यते स चैव व्याहृते लोके मनुष्याणां शुभाशुभे ऐश्वर्यात् चैव कामानाम् ईश्वर पुनरुच्यते महेश्वरश्च भूतानां महताम् ईश्वरश्च सदा. The prosperity is his, that is seen in Indra and the other devatas. So if Indra and other devatas are saying that I have this heaven, I have this Ucheshrava or Airavata or these weapons or this luxury or Amrita, whatever it is, they say they have all this prosperity, all that belongs to him. It is because of him. He is the one who is giver. And he is that Maheshwara is ever engaged in the good and evil of the men in this world. In consequence of his supremacy, he can always obtain whatever objects he desires. And he is called Maheshwara. And he is the Lord, even the Supreme One. So he is the Lord of everything. And that's why he is known as Maheshwarascha Bhutanam Mahatam Vishwarascha. So he is the Ishvara, Lord of everything. And that's why even greatest beings that's there, even for them, he is the Bhagavan. He is the Ishvara for them. That's why he is known as Maheshwara. And बहुभिर्बहुधा रूपैर्विश्वं व्याप्नोति वै जगत् अस्य देवस्य यद्वक्त्रं समुद्रे तद् अतिष्ठतः एष चैव श्मशानेषु देवो वसति नित्यशः यजन्तेनं जनास्तत्र वीरस्थाना इतीश्वरम्. So in many forms of many kinds he pervaded this universe, the mouth of which that Bhagavan is the ocean. It is well known that the mouth, assuming the form of a mare said, drinks the sacrificial libation in the shape of water. And this Bhagavan, this Devata, always dwells in smashana, crematoriums, and men worship that Paramatma, this Ishvara, they worship in that place where none but the courageous can go. They worship him in such places. And asya deeptani deeptani rupani ghorani cha bhuni cha loke yanyasya kurvanti manushya pravadanti cha namadeyani lokeshu bhunyatra yathartavat niruchyante mahatva cha vivutvat karma vistata. So Vyasa says that many are the blazing and terrible forms of this Devata, this Bhagavan, that men speak of worship in this world. Those who worship him speak of many blazing forms and terrible forms of this Maheshwara. Many are also the names of truthful import of this deity in all these worlds. And those names are founded upon his supremacy, his omnipotence, and his actions. So Viruchyante Mahatvacha Vibhutvat Karma Bhistada. So his Vibhutva, his karma, and because Mahatva, all this because of that, his supremacy, his omnipotence, and his actions, because of all that, these names have been said. And Vede Chasya Samam Natam Shadarudriyam Uttamam Namna cha Ananta Rudreti Upasthanam Mahatmanah Sa Kamanam Prabhurdevo Ye Divya Ye cha Manushaha. So in the Vedas, the excellent hymns called Shatarudriya has been sung in his honor of that great Bhagavan, that Maheshwara, that Mahatma. And that is one is known as he is known as Rudra, Ananta Rudreti. So he is known as Ananta Rudreti Upasthana Mahatmana. So that Mahatma is known as infinite Ananta Rudra. He is known as Ananta Rudra in that Shatarudriya. So in that Vedas he has been sung like that. That Bhagavan, that Devata is the Bhagavan, Lord of all the wishes, and that are human and heavenly, whatever one wishes, whether it is in this world or in the next world, whatever wishes, he is the one grantor of that. Sa vibhosa prabhurdevo vishwam vapnuvatet mahat jeshtam bhutam vadantenam brahmana manayastata. So he is the Vibhu, he is the omnipotent, he is the Prabhu, he is the supreme master, and this Bhagavan pervades the vast universe, Vishwam Vapnuvate Mahat, and he is the Brahmanas and the Munis describe him as the firstborn of all the creatures. So Jeshtam, they all call him Jeshta. So that's why he is again in the Rudra Samhita. We see that Jeshtaya cha Kanishtaya cha. So like this, so he is the Jeshta, he is the firstborn of all the creatures. So like that, it has been said. And Pratamohya Esha Devana Mukad Asyanalo Bhod. So he is the first of all the Devatas. He is the Pratama. And from his mouth was born Agni, Analo Bhavat. So Anilo Bhavat. So there are two slight variations here. Analo Bhavat or Anilo Bhavat. So both are same. So from his mouth, Agni was born. And Sarvada Yat Pashun Pati Taischa Yad Ramate Punha Tesham Adipatir Yascha Yachcha Tasmat Pashupati Spradha. So since he always protects the creatures of this universe and sports with them, since also he is the Lord of Ishvara, he is the Lord of all the creatures, he is known as Pashupati. So again, we are looking at different names of Shiva here, right? So I said in that Shatarudriya in that Vedas. So first we looked at he is known as this Ananta Rudra, and then he is known as Prabhu, and then he is known as Vibhu, and then he is known as Jeshta, and then he is the Prathama, he is and then Anala is known as that Agni, and now we looked at Pashupati. Why is called Pashupati? Because Sarvata yat Pashun Pati Taischa yad Ramate Puna. So he is the always protects of all the creatures. So Pashu has normally said that animals, but animals here creatures. The other word for Pashu, translation for the word is Pashu is another meaning for Pashu is creatures. He is the protector of all the creatures and he sports with them. Ramate Puna, he is the one sports with them. So and then that's why, and because he is the lord of all those creatures, he is known as Pashupati. And nityena brahmacharyena lingam asya yada sthitham mahayanti cha lokascha maheshwara sprudha. So, and since his linga form is always supposed to be in the observance of the vow of brahmacharya, and since he always gladdens the world, therefore he is known as Maheshwara. And ऋषेश्चैव देवाश्च गन्धर्वाप्सर तथा लिंगम अस्यार्चयन्ति स्म तच तच्चाप्य ऊर्ध्वं समास्थितं पूज्यमाने ततस्तस्मिन् मोदते स महेश्वरः सुखी प्रीतश्च भवति पृष्ठ प्रहृष्टश्चैव शङ्करः. So the rishis, devatas, gandharvas, apsaras always worship him in that linga form, which is supposed to always stand upright, and that worship makes Maheshwara glad. And indeed, Shankara at such worship becomes happy and pleased and highly become glad, and that's why. So again, with the names we looked here, is worshipping him in Maheshwara, that Shankara and those names came out. And यदस्य बहुधा रूपं भूतभव्य भवित् स्थितं स्थावरं जङ्गमं चैव बहुरूपस्ततः स्पृता. So, and since with respect to the past, future, present, that Deva has many forms, he is on that account, he is known as Bahurupa, many formed. He is known as Bahurupa because of that, because his forms has many forms in the past, present, and in the future he is going to have different forms. He is known as Bahurupa. And Ekaksho Jajvalan Aste Sarvato Kshimayo Apiva Krodad Yascha Vilas Lokam Tasmad Charvas iti sprita. So he is possessed of one eye, he blazes forth in effulgence, or he is regarded to have many eyes, so on every side of his body. So he is Ekaksha, he is known as Ekaksha, having that which is blazing forth, or he is known as Sarvadokshimaya. So he is known as the one having eyes all over his body. And since he possesses the worlds, so and for that reason he is known as Sharva. And Dhumram Rupam Chayas Tasya Dhurjatis Tena Uchate Vishve Devascha Yat Tasmin Vishwarupas Tatasprata. So, and since he is the form of like a dhumra, the smoke, and he is known as, for that reason he is known as Durjati Tena Uchate. He is known as Durjati. And then since the Devatas, that is the Vishvedevas, are in him, he is known, and for that reason he is known as Vishwarupa. And Tisro Devir Yada Chaiva Bhajate Bhuneshwara Dhyam Apas Prativim Chaiva Trambakam Cha Tadasprata. So since the three goddesses adore him and have recourse to that Bhagavan of this Bhuneshwara, that Bhagavan of this universe, that is the Akasha, Prithvi, and water. So these three, Jala. So these three, firmament, water, and earth. He is the reason. That's why he is known as Trambaka. He is known as Dhyam Apaprathivi Chaiva Trambakashtasprada. So that's why he is known as Trambaka. And since he has always increases all kind of kinds of wealth. Samedhayati yan nityam sarvatan sarvakarmasu shivam ichan manusyanam tasmad esha shivasprada. So since he always increases all kinds of wealth and wishes for the good of mankind in all actions, he is, for that reason, he is known as Shiva. So why he is known as Shiva? Samedayati yan nityam sarvartan sarvakarmasu Shivan Shivam ichan manusyanam tasmad esha shivasprada. So he always increases the in all kinds of wealth and wishes for the good of mankind in their actions, and he is, for that reason, known as Shiva. Sahasraksho ayitaksho va sarvato kshimayo piva yascha vishvam mahatpati mahadeva tadasprada. So he is possessed of 1,000 eyes or 10,000 eyes or eyes on all over all the sides. And since he is the one that protects this vast universe, that's why he is known as Mahadeva. दह्यत् ऊर्ध्वं स्थितो यच्च स्थितश्च यत् स्थितलिङ्गश्च यन्नित्यं तस्मास्ताणुर् इति स्पृतः. And since he is the great and ancient and the source of life and is of its continuance, and since his linga form is everlasting, that's the reason he is known as Stanu. That means he is sthira, he is always there. So that's why he's known as Stanu. And since the solar and lunar rays of light, since the solar and lunar rays of light that appear in the world are spoken of his hair on that three-eyed one, that is the reason he is known as Vyomakesha, because the solar light and lunar light, Chandra and Surya, the lights coming from them, they are coming from his hair on his body, and that's why he's known as Vyomakesha. And since afflicting Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Yama, Kubera, he destroys them ultimately, he is, for that reason, he is known as Hara. And since he is the past, the future, the present, and in fact everything in this universe, and since he is the origin of the past, the future, and the present, for that reason he is known as Bhava. And the word Kapi, he is known as Kapi because it is said to mean that he is the supreme. He is called as Vrusha because of the means. He is said to be the mean of said to mean righteousness. He is the Dharma, and that Bhagavan, that Devata, he is the Deva of all the Devatas, and that's why he is known as Vrishakapi. So he is the supreme Dharma. He is the Deva of Devatas, and that's why he is known as Vrishakapi. And since Maheshwara, by means of his two eyes closed in meditation and created through sheer force of a will the third eye on his forehead, and he is, for that reason, he is known as Trambaka, three-eyed, he is the Trambaka. And then Vishamasta Shariresu Samascha Praninam Iha Sa Vayur Vishamasteshu Pranapana Shireshu. And whatever that is unsoundness there is in the bodies of the living creatures, and whatever that is soundness is there in the creatures that represent that Bhagavan. And he is the prana, he is the wind, the vital air called prana, apana, and others in the bodies of all the creatures, including even those that are deceased. And pujayet vigraham yastu lingam vapi samarchayet lingam pujayita nityam mahadim siyam ashnade. He, the one who adores any form of this Bhagavan or in the linga form of that this Mahadeva, always obtains great prosperity by that action of worshipping him in that linga form. And then Urubhyam ardham agneyam somardham cha shivatano atmano ardham cha tasyagni somo ardham punaruchyate. So downwards fairy, half the body that is auspicious is moon, and his auspiciousness is the moon. So also half his soul is fire and half of it is moon, and that's why he's known as Somardham. And तेजसी महति दीप्ता देवेभ्यश्च शिवातनु बास्मति मानुषेष्व asya tanur goragner uchyate. So he is auspicious form, full of energy, and is full more blazing than any than the forms of devatas. Among men, his blazing form, uh, among men, his blazing form, and he is that's why he is known as Goragni, the terrible form of the Agni. And Brahmacharyam Charatte Yesha Shiva Yasya Tanustaya Yasya घोरतता मूर्ति सर्वान् अत्तितयेश्वरः यन्निर्दहति यत् यत्तीक्ष्णो यद् उग्रो यत् प्रतापवान् मांसशोणितमज्जातो यत् ततो रुद्र उच्यते. So with that auspicious form, Shiva form, he practices brahmacharya, and with that other terrible form, he has the supreme. He as the supreme Lord devours everything, and since he burns and he is fierce, and since he is endued with great prowess, and since he devours the flesh and blood and marrow at the time of destruction, he is known as Rudra. एषदेवो महादेवो योऽसौ भारततवाग्रतः सङ्ग्रामे शात्रवान् निग्धं त्वया दृष्ट पिनाकधृत् एष वै भगवान् देव सङ्ग्रामे याति ते अग्रतः येन दत्तानि ते अस्त्राणि यैः त्वया दानवा हता. So Vyasa says that even such is that Deva that known as Mahadeva is armed with Pinaka bow, who, O Partha, was seen by you. He was the one seen by you, engaged in killing your enemies in advance of your chariot. He was going in front of you, killing your enemies. You were just releasing the arrows for the sake of it. After you had vowed to kill the ruler of Sindhus, Jayadratha, Krishna showed you that Bhagavan. So if you remember, at the end of 13th day after Abhimanyu's death, when Arjuna went to sleep, Krishna took him in his dream to Kailasa, right? So Vyasa reminds him saying that after you had vowed to kill that Jayadratha, Krishna showed you this Bhagavan in your dream, sitting on top of that foremost of those mountains, that Kailasa mountain. This illustrates Bhagavan proceeds advance of you in the battle. Bhagavan Deva Sangrame Yati Te Agrataha. So that's what Vyasa says. So this Bhagavan proceeds in advance of you in the battle. It is he who gave you those weapons with which you did kill the Danavas in the previously. So like this, Vyasa explains that person who was going in front of you is none other than Bhagavan Shiva himself, Mahadeva himself, and he was the one destroying everybody, all the Kaurava troops. And Vyasa says that Dhanyam, Yashasyam, Ayushyam, Punyam, Vedascha, Sanyitam, Deva Devasya Te Partha, Vyakyatam, Shatarudriyam. So this hymn approved of the Vedas is called Shatarudriya in honor of that Devadeva, that Bhagavan Deva, God of all the Devatas, that excellent, that famous, that life enhancing, and this sacred hymn has now, O Partha, I have explained that to you. सर्वार्थ साधकं पुण्यं सर्वकिल्बिषनाशनं सर्वपाप प्रशमनं सर्वदुःखभयापहं चतुर्विधम् इदं स्तोत्रं यः शृणोति नरः सदा विजित्य सर्वान् शत्रून् स रुद्रलोको महीयते. So this hymn, this stotra of 4 divisions, capable of accomplishing every object, and this hymn, this stotra is sacred. It is destructive of all the sins. Sarva papa prashamanam, sarva dukkha bhayapaham. So, and it is competent to drive away all the strains and to kill all the sorrows and the fears. And the men that always listen to this Shatarudriya Stotra, as Vyasa narrated to Arjuna, one listens to that, those who always listen to this succeed in vanquishing all the enemies, both internal and external enemies, and is such a person is highly respected in the region of Rudra, in the Rudraloke Mahiyate. So they will be respected in the Rudraloka after this, leaving this body. Charitam Mahatmano Divyam Sangram ikam Sangramikam idam shubham patan vai Shatarudriyam shrunvan cha sata tottitaha bhakto vishveswaram devam manusheshu tu yas sada varansa kaman lavate prasanne trambakendra. The person who always attentively reads or listens to the recitation of this excellent and auspicious account pertaining to the battle of that illustrious Deva Vishveshwara, that Bhagavan, and he worships with devotion that illustrious Bhagavan of this universe. Such a person obtains all the objects of desires in consequence of this Trambaka, three-eyed Bhagavan, being gratified with him. Because of that, he obtains all his desires. Gaccha idvasra kaunteya na tavasti parajya yasya mantri cha gopta cha parshvatas te janardana. So Vyasa says that go and fight, O Arjuna, Kaunteya, go and fight, defeat tavasti parajaya, na tavasti parajaya. So defeat is not for you. That because you have that Janardana on your side for your advisor and protector. Vyasa says that Shiva is going in front of you because Janardana is on your side. And you have Shiva's blessing because Janardana is on our side and Janardana is your protector. Janardana is protector means Shiva is also his protector. So Shiva and Janardana again, Vyasa concludes the Shatarudriya saying that Janardana and Shiva are no different. So you have Janardana as your protector and Shiva is the one who is destroying everybody in front of you. So like this, Vyasa concludes that narration of Shatarudriya and blesses Arjuna and says that you go and fight, continue this battle. Like this, he blesses. And with that, Drona Parva almost comes to an end. And there is just Sanjaya says that having addressed Arjuna with these words, Parashara's son Vyasa, he went away to the place he had come from, leaving that battlefield. And Sanjaya tells Dhritarashtra that having battled fiercely for 5 days, the Brahmana Drona, who had endued with great strength, he fell and repaired to the region of Brahma. And Sanjaya here, Vaishampayana narrating this, concludes that the fruits that arise from study of the Vedas arise from the study of this Parva also. If one studies the Veda, the same merits one acquires from study of this Drona Parva. The great achievements of the brave Kshatriyas have been described in this Drona Parva. The one who reads or listens to the recitation of this Parva every day is freed from heinous sins and the most atrocious actions of his life or the previous lives. And Brahmanas may also obtain here from the fruits of the sacrifices, performing the great sacrifices. Such merits can be attained by reading or listening to this Drona Parva. And from this, Kshatriyas may obtain the victory in the battlefields, and others also, Vaishya and Shudras, they may obtain desirable sons, grandsons, and all the objects of their desire. Like this, Vaishampayana concludes this narration of this Drona Parva, and we will just do a recap of this Drona Parva next time when we gather, and what all the things that took place in the 5 days since Bhishma's death. When Sanjaya, we see the story of Sanjaya returning to Hastinapura at the end of 15th day and telling Dhritarashtra that Drona has been killed. From that point, Dhritarashtra asks what happened. We will look at that from there to this Shatarudriya Parva, where end of 15th day, Vyasa coming and explaining that Shatarudriya Stotra to Arjuna and narrating that to Arjuna. We'll look at that, just do a quick recap next time when we gather. And then after that, we will go to Karna Parva. Conclude there today.